Wow, another day in paradise on the Central Coast. Another great day to live the run. I am your host, Rex Stevens, and glad to have the Olympian back in studio this week. Mr. Paul Terek, how you doing, Paul?
Not too bad. Hey, you were probably watching the road on the way over here, but I got to follow you. Decent driving, by the way. Just on the way from your office to the studio, 7 people involved in some sort of activity. Not just counting people walking down the street, but 7 people actually out. There was one lady with a jogging stroller. There were 2 people running at one point. On the way over here from your office to here, 7 people. So there's no reason you can't get involved in physical activity around here.
7 folks living the run at about 5:30 today. Did you see the youngster, the 15-year-old, driving with her father, pulling in front of us, coming in there?
Oh, was that what that was? I thought that's what that was.
Is that why we slowed down so dramatically?
It was good. She used a turn signal. It was, she didn't just wing it in there. She was courteous and she was aware of the other drivers around her. You know what? Hey, we had to wait another second, but hey, not a big deal. Absolutely
worth it. And what's going to be worth it today for you listeners on Living the Run, we've got a great show lined up. 2 phenomenal guests. We're going to get an update from Wildflower that happened this last weekend. And then for the first time, Paul, I believe the very first time, we are going to have a goddess in studio.
Yeah, let's go back through the guest list. No, triathlete, marathon. Nope, no goddesses. Got nothing.
No goddesses. We're going to have that for the first time. A marathon goddess with an absolutely phenomenal story. Can't wait to hear that. But let's start here first. This is another feel-good story. A local favorite of mine ran the Wildflower here this last weekend. Took first in her age group. Top 10 women overall in the Olympic course. Let's just go back over that Olympic course just to kind of make Paul sweat for a second. That is, a 1.25 mile swim. We got a 26-mile bike and a 6-mile run. Close. It's
Wait a minute.
It's
just a bit outside. Nice job, right?
Look, it's close enough, and the fact is it's far enough that Paul doesn't want to do it.
No, it was when you said there were 3 different events, and it was like, what? No, I don't want to do that. I'm done with different events.
Hey, so congratulations to Barb Singer Lemoyne, who is in with us right now. Great job.
Thank you.
Barb, can you correct us on the distances so all our listeners are aware of exactly how awesome you did?
Oh, for sure. It's a mile swim at Lake San Antonio up in Bradley. We then have a 24-mile bike ride. And then a 6.2 run along those hot hills back there by Lake San Antonio.
So I was off by a 1/4 mile on that swim, it sounds like. But a mile is long enough, Paul. Do you think that you're game for that?
Only if I was on the Titanic. No way, man.
Well, Barb came in at a whopping 2 hours and 35 minutes, which is flat out flying on that course. But Barb, let's go back, 6-7 years ago. You with a young son and a beautiful son, by the way, may I say, Mr. Aiden, just a phenomenal young man. There you are, and you decided it's time to become a triathlete. What kind of prompted the decision, and how did we go that road?
Well, actually, back in 2005, I was up at Lake San Antonio with a group, and Rex, you're going to remember this, Battle of the CEOs.
Oh, Battle of the CEOs. It was a fantastic group.
Yeah, and I went up, and I was just a spectator, and I was walking around, and I was watching these people do the mountain bike course, and I thought, I could do that. But I needed to make...
Belittling. I love it. Before she's even in the sport, she's belittling the competitor. I could do what you do.
Yeah.
Well, I needed to make some personal changes first. I was a little bit of a party girl, and that needed to go away. So once that stopped, I was able to really focus on it. And, I had a lot of help along the way. I had some really special people in my life pushing me to do it. And so I signed up for the mountain bike course. And I ended up getting on the podium, got 3rd place then in my age group, and that was very exciting. And that's kind of when it took off for me.
First race, podium.
Well, my first race was out, actually, there is one before, which was the March Madness with Cal Poly. It was the year that it snowed. You guys remember
Lake
that?
Lopez?
Lake Lopez, the Cal Poly March Madness.
Paul, they were...
eighth of an inch of snow, and there's like 75 accidents within like a mile stretch.
They were pulling kids out. I remember, freezing in that lake out there trying to complete that swim.
The temperature's into the 60s. We've got to get out of the lake. Hypothermia could be next.
Yeah, Barb, what you don't know is Paul is a Midwest guy, a Michigan
man.
So nothing for you.
Yeah, so anytime we talk cold here out on the West Coast, it's a different deal to Paul. But anyway, let's go on. What happened from there?
Well, as I said, I went out there. I did place in my age group, but that's because everybody else dropped out. So that was...
leave that last part out. Leave the last part out. You placed first.
I placed first.
That was your first one, right?
Yes.
First one. We had another guest, first and first.
First and
this
first.
Is another one.
Karin Serba, first slow marathon, first place.
There you go.
So then continued on, did Wildflower, and then, back then also, Kennedy Club Fitness, who I work for, we had a race up in Atascadero, and I finished, I was the first woman finisher up there, and it just kind of kept growing, and it was something that I found that I enjoyed. Now, during the race, I always go through the same thing. I hate it, don't want to do it. When is it over?
Is it when you finish first that you start to enjoy it? It's like, I don't like this at all. Hey, you were first. Oh, I wasn't that bad.
Yeah. But, over the years, I guess it's just kind of grown on me, and so I continued on, and then in 2007, I thought, okay, I'll go back with the Battle of the CEOs, and Rex was there, and his lovely wife, Molly, and I did the Olympic course, and the wheels fell off the bus.
Oh, man.
It was not good. It was not pretty. I muscled my way through it. I finished, but by the time I finished, my body was shutting down. I was swollen. I couldn't breathe. I was hot. I remember seeing Dr. Gary Cushing at the finish line and with his big, big smile, and he said, okay, Barbara, you did so great. How do you feel? And I was in tears. I said, I want to go home. And I said, I'm never doing this again. I am never going to do this race again. I am done with Wildflower.
Did you finish second? Is that what it was? You finished second, didn't you?
One of the great things about this Living the Run story, we're talking to Barb Lemoyne, singer, triathlete who just competed and took first in her age group at Wildflower this past weekend, is that you're kind of talking about a couple different crossroads that you came to, in life. One where you noticed that you were taking on some habits, lifestyle habits that may have not been most advantageous for yourself or your family. Now we're coming to a spot where we took on a bigger endurance, bigger tests in a race, and now we kind of experienced some pain that we didn't quite love. Kind of what, take us through what got you back on the course after that tough Wildflower race, and what keeps you persevering today to keep the strive to get to that next level, and so on.
Well, after that race, I kind of took a break, and then taking the break wasn't the right decision either, because then I was missing out on something that I did deep inside really enjoy doing. Yes, it's hard during. Yes, I don't want to swim sometimes. But when all is said and done, it's completely worth it. And anybody can do it. Anyone can do it. No matter how big the race is, no matter how small, it doesn't really matter. It comes from inside, and it also comes from the people around you. I got connected with a lady named Samantha Pruitt. She has CCTC.
Another fan of Living the Run, by the way.
We are familiar with
lady.
This Pruitt lady.
Yeah, right? She's fantastic, and got connected with her, and talk about a cheerleader.
Yeah, she is. I was almost inspired to get up and do something one day after we got done with her. I wanted to go home and jog. I really did. I'm going to go jog today.
But the key word there was almost.
Almost.
Paul put that in there. He didn't actually go home and jog, but at least he had the thought.
Right. Well, in her infectious spirit, you can't help but want to. You see someone like that, and you want to be like that. It's contagious. So I had her in my life. Scott Smith, Art Cyclery. Eric
Smith.
Benson, that group of guys over there, they look out for me. They check on me. They check on my bike right here, my little water bottle. Love those people. So I had them pushing me along the way as well. And then, I got connected with Dave Sullivan.
I actually just got a text from Dave's wife, Kathy. She told me I better be nice to you.
Kathy. Yes. I
Thanks
run
for
with
listening,
that girl.
Kathy.
Yes. And met Kathy, and she's a quick little runner, that lady, and so she and I would run together. And then I met up with a great group of women. They're known as the biker chicks in town: Jen, Marnie, Roseanne, Heidi, and Linda. And they ride, and they get out there, and they do the deal every week. And Jen Wright is a really good friend of mine, and she and I, we get together once, twice a week, and we ride and we run, and we do it together. And it's nice to have a cohort. It's nice to have a buddy, somebody that can push you along the way.
Yeah, they keep you honest.
Oh my gosh.
You got to be responsible to somebody else, because if you don't show up, they're going to be there, and then they're going to get ahead of you. You don't want that to happen.
Right.
Hey, real quick as we go here, what's the simple mantra you might have for yourself to get through these races, to keep going, or what's a small piece of advice to that person that's kind of toying the line like you did at one point, where trying to decide what to do, trying to take on a new healthy habit, realizing that at times it's not an easy thing to do. How do they keep persevering and continue on that straight path like you've done so well over the last few years?
Well, you said it right there. I mean, perseverance is the key. My mom always says that. And, you know, there's times when I want to quit, and there's times when I just don't want to do it. But at the same time, the reward that I get from doing it supersedes all the other nonsense. And, you know, if you tell your brain to do it, your body will follow. And in the swim this round, I had a hard time. I got out 200 meters out, and I was like, I'm done. I'm raising my hand. I don't want to do this. And I was floundering. Things weren't working right. My arms weren't working. My legs weren't working. And I don't know. You know, I got to root for Dave. That man taught me how to swim. And so what registered were the things that he taught me. And I just settled into it, and I found my stroke. And then when I got out, I had people on the sidelines telling me my time, and that pushed me to go more, to get onto the bike. And it's those little steps along the way that just kept me going. And the cheering section, the crowd at a triathlon,
yeah.
Oh my
The
gosh.
crowd's huge. That's one of the, in the 1,500 meters Olympic trials 04, is like you had to figure out, there wasn't really a spot that you could walk away. There were just so many fans. You know, your family's like in the back corner, you know, and you got a great group of buddies up in turn number 1. And then all of a sudden, you know, turn 4, you're coming out of the home stretch, and everybody else was going nuts. It was like, even if you wanted to stop, like, you just couldn't. There was no place to stop. You were inspired the whole way around.
You just do it. You just do it. You get to that place, and something else takes over, and it's bigger than you, and you go. And then I have, you know, the people that can't be there that are with me in spirit. You know, I ride with a couple guys in town, John and Art, and they push me along, and they do not let me give up. And then, you know, I have the people that pick me up when I'm done at the end of the day. I have great friends that, you know, give me the push that I need to keep going.
Well, that's phenomenal. You know, for those future sponsors looking to sponsor someone, she is Barb Lemoyne, singer. Watch out. She is the next big thing on the Central Coast as far as triathlons go. You know, I'd say this, and I just to conclude, one thing I think about if I was you is you got that beautiful son with an infectious smile, and I can imagine you're in some of those frustrating, painful situations. You just think about that kid, and all that pain goes away.
Half of what I do, well, not even half. All of what I do for Aiden. And I do want to say this. I see Rex every week before I race, and I fire on all cylinders. So he plays an intricate part in my winning streak, we'll say. So thank you, Rex.
Thanks so much, Barb, for stopping in. It's a great story. We will be coming back in just moments. Like I said, being blessed by Goddess in studio for the first time. So let's take a look. The Marathon Goddess, for those of you who are at home, marathongoddess.com. Take a look before she comes in studio. That is next.
You're listening to Living the Ride on ESPN Radio 1280 The Ticket.
When you were a kid, you had all sorts of toys. Toy cars, boats, trucks, entire toy boxes full of fun. Of course, you never really outgrow your toys, do you? It's just that now, instead of a box full, you have a garage full. Cars, trucks, boats, motorcycles, ATVs, and more. As you get older, your love of toys just gets stronger. So protect those toys the best way possible by switching to Allstate. An Allstate agent can help do the switching, paperwork, bundle all your policies together, and even find you a bunch of discounts. So if you love your toys, make sure you protect your toys by making one call to an Allstate agent.
Protect all your toys with Allstate. Find an agent near you at allstate.com today. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Property and Casualty Insurance Company and Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and their affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Dollar for dollar, nobody protects you like Allstate.
In a world full of artificial this, genetically modified that, and virtually simulated everything, there's thankfully still an appreciation for the real deal. I'm referring, of course, to the BMW 3 Series, the one car and driver named to their 10 best list a record-breaking 20 consecutive years. The one that's faster and more powerful than the A4, the C300, and the IS250. The one that includes no-cost maintenance while those others do not. And the only one that deserves to be called the ultimate driving machine. So celebrate the real deal. The 3 Series at a BMW Center today. Claim based on published 3 Series sedan and competitors 0 to 60 in horsepower. For ultimate service details, call 1-888-3114-BMW.
Come purchase one today at BMW of Santa Maria, the Highline dealer on the Central Coast. Online at bmwsm.com.
Michelob Ultra asked, what's your ultra life?
Climbing pyramids in Guatemala.
We got married in the run-through wedding chapel.
A zip line ride over a 400-foot canyon. About 25 feet from me was a black bear.
The ultra life is different for everyone, but there's one common thread. It's about getting out and having fun. And Michelob Ultra helps you do just that. With one exceptionally smooth taste, only 95 calories and 2.6 carbs, Michelob Ultra is perfectly balanced to fit your life and all you want to get out of it. What's your ultra life? Tell us on Facebook.com/Michelob Ultra and live life to the ultra. Here's West from Chicago.
Every year, 16 of my college buddies get together for a golf bonanza.
And Amy from San Diego.
I just recently hiked the Grand Canyon.
Enjoy responsibly. Michelob Ultra Light Beer. 95 calories, 2.6 grams carbs, 0.6 grams protein, and 0 grams fat for 12-ounce serving. Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
We're back with Living the Run.
Welcome back to Living the Run. Paul looks a little nervous over there. We've got a goddess in the studio for the first time. Before we get to that, I want to remind everybody, Miracle Miles for Kids this weekend. Saturday, May 12th, the Family Care Network will host its 9th annual Miracle Miles for Kids 10K, 6-mile walk run, a benefit for foster and high-needs children and families. The race runs along the water's edge from Morro Rock and Morro Bay to the Cayucas Pier, one of the most beautiful stretches of beach in California. This unique all-sand race will begin at 8:30 a.m. this Saturday, May 12th, with the post-race party running from 9 a.m. to noon at the Cayucas Vets Hall. Last year's event attracted over 2,400 participants, vendors, and volunteers. Guys, we had them on last week. This is a great event. If you haven't signed up or you haven't decided what to do, May 12th, show up at this event. It is tremendous. We are jazzed to be in studio right now with Julie Weiss, known as the Marathon Goddess. You can find her on marathongoddess.com. She has an absolutely remarkable story, but let me just give you a little bit of what she's doing. She is trying to run 52 marathons in 52 weeks this year in an effort to raise money for pancreatic cancer, a story I will let her tell that started with her own father just a short time ago. So, gosh darn it, Julie, wonderful to have you in studio. Thanks for coming.
Thank you so much, Rex, for having me here. It's a pleasure to be here.
Absolutely. So tell us just a brief bit about how this thing got going, your story with your father, et cetera, and how did we get to choosing running and 52 marathons, 52 weeks?
Well, my father, he was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer in November of 2010, and 2010, and then he passed away 30 days later, and he was my biggest fan. He just totally enjoyed my running. He would come out to my marathons. He was so proud, and he loved to see me run. So after he passed away and I found more about pancreatic cancer, I was just so devastated, and I didn't like what I found about this disease. So I knew that there was something that I could do through my running to help raise money for this cause. And so I'm going big. I thought, I love running marathons. Why not run 52 of them? I've heard of people doing that. So, why not me?
Hey, I want to take back, cancer is such a tough thing for so many of you. You've experienced similar stories to what Julie is saying, but pancreatic cancer specifically is just such a tough one. The success rates are so low still here, and we have still a long way to go. And the importance of finding a cure to improve our statistics along this is huge. But I wanted you to take us back to when you were running and your dad was watching. What were you trying to do at that point? You had a goal at that point too, right? And you had a story behind that before we even got to the 52 mark.
Oh my gosh, did I ever. I started running in 2008, and I heard about the Boston Marathon. I said, wow, wouldn't that be great if I could qualify for Boston? So I went out and I ran a marathon with like little to no training, and I didn't make it. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to do it again. I'm going to try this again. So I tried about 19 more times. And
about 19 or 19?
Seriously, on my 19th time, within a couple of years, I finally qualified for Boston, and that was my dad's greatest hope and dream, to go with me to Boston and see me qualify, see me run Boston. He wasn't there with me this April to see me run, but he actually was there. He had the best seat in the house in my heart, so it's all good.
19 times. I mean, after one, I would come up with that idea of like, yeah, I'm gonna qualify for Boston. I didn't make it. I gave it a good go, and I'm going to try something else. 19 times.
I was determined.
That's incredible.
Thank you.
Hey, you're listening on Living the Run. You can find us on livingtherun.com and on facebook.com. And we are in studio with Julie Weiss, known as the Marathon Goddess, shooting for 52 marathons in 52 weeks. Take us back to even running. Why running in the first place? And you got a great Living the Run story. Again, just much like Barb Lemoyne Singer, who we just heard from. Change in life, change in lifestyle, change in habits, change in spirit. Talk us through that a little bit.
And by the way, she's awesome. She's a triathlon goddess.
She's a triathlon.
She is.
She's got to get that website
She's
soon
awesome.
Before somebody takes it.
Oh, it's already gone. Sorry.
So yes, in 2008, I was overweight. I was on antidepressants, and my kids were pretty young at that time, and I was just depressed. And I started running, and I actually kept running, and pretty soon I didn't need the antidepressants anymore, and I lost the weight, and I just found something that I loved. So I decided to train for a triathlon, actually, and once I did that, I was like, okay, I can do a half marathon. And then after the half, I was like, I could do that again. I could do a full marathon. So it was, call it what you will, a midlife crisis. Some people go drinking, some go shopping, and I just decided to run a bunch of marathons.
You hear that? The evening jog, easy stroll is the gateway drug to marathon. That's exactly what it is. That's what I heard, at least. I don't know what you guys heard, but that's what I heard.
I just heard drinking, shopping, or marathons. I'm not sure I've ever heard those three lumped in a category before. Have you, Paul?
Hey, what do you guys want to do? You want to go shopping? No, let's go drinking. Oh, yeah, I got to run a marathon. Oh, that's a good idea. Let's do that.
Oh, it's so much fun.
Hey, so the first of the 52 happened at Boston. Is that right?
That's correct. Actually, it was a really hot day, as you know. I think about 90 degrees, but it was a fantastic experience. And I actually ran it with a friend of mine who was also raising money for pancreatic cancer research, who also lost his dad. So we ran it together, and it was a beautiful experience. So I'm very grateful to have done that with him.
I would be glad to throw in. I'd be honored to throw in $5 for every marathon you finish. I would be glad to. $5 for every marathon she finishes.
Thank you.
All right.
Seems reasonable, Paul.
Cool. Will anybody else match me?
Right on.
There's no reason not to match it. I think
you're right here. You can match me right now.
I think Living the Run is going to match it.
You think Living the Run is going to match it?
Living the Run should match it.
The corporation Living the Run will match an individual. Oh, okay, well, that's a good game. Yeah, one on a corporation. Yeah, that's fine.
Started by Ryan Ferran. The original CEO. Why don't you make a request out to Ryan?
We should get him too. We'll try to heckle him into it.
Yeah,
right.
Maybe we could get Ryan to call into the show now. Max, see what you can do.
So I'm already in for 4 marathons. I heard though, right?
You're in for 4 marathons.
I'm in for 4 marathons. You know what? Honestly, I hope you finish all of them.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Now, are there goals in each marathon? Do you have specific goals in each one? How did you go about mapping out which 52 to do? Obviously, there's going to be a ton of travel here. California is great. You can get a whole bunch of them in. But how did you go about mapping that whole thing out?
I went on to marathonguide.com, and I looked at all the marathons, and I looked for first of all, the closest ones to cut down on the budget, and also the most fun. Or looked at the reviews and to see which ones were popular, or which ones I would be most well represented at. So
which ones are all downhill? I'm gonna go to.
Oh, there you go.
That's the one I would go to.
That was part of it. course.
Yeah, you don't want to find it. You don't want to find one that's like, oh, this one's only 1.5 miles uphill. It's good.
Well, I got to think that the weather plays a factor into it too. You wonder what's happening in July and August where they're running these things. I don't think you want to
Edwardsville, Illinois, in July. I've been there before. You don't want to do that.
Yeah, I was thinking Arizona. Some of these places they get a bit blazing. So, what's the upcoming schedule here? What's coming this weekend, and then what's here in the future?
I have Grand Valley Marathon. It's in Colorado, Palisades, Colorado. It's kind of a smaller one, but it's supposed to be beautiful, but a lot of altitude, which I've never done before, so that should be interesting. And then I have Lake Placid, Grandma's Marathon, Kona coming up, and you can see my schedule on marathongoddess.com.
You can't memorize the whole thing. That'd be too daunting. Two, 3 at a time is good.
Yeah.
You start thinking about the next 17 marathons you got to do. I'd be psyched out. Like, I don't want to.
Yeah, I forget. Actually, I have Pasadena coming up the week after Colorado, so that's a nice local one.
Is Pasadena's at Disney?
Pasadena?
Yeah.
No, it's in Pasadena.
Isn't that where?
Disney's in like Burbank or something.
Anaheim.
Anaheim. Yeah. Okay. So tell us a little bit about, again, how I want to do this a couple times throughout the show. Tell us how people can get involved in this. Where can they donate? How do they do it? Start at marathongoddess.com, right?
That's correct. There's a Donate Now button that actually takes you right to the Pancreatic Cancer Action Network, and you can donate there by credit card or check, and all donations go directly to the Pancreatic Cancer Action Network, so that's fantastic. They're really supporting me in this journey. And my goal is $1 million. We've already raised almost $95,000. We are on our way.
Wow, you're ahead of the game. I mean, you're only 4 marathons in, so you're not even, and you've already got 90,000. Gosh, 1/10 of what you need. That's a great start.
Yeah, I'm really excited about that. Very grateful.
And with Paul's contribution,
and yours, and your corporate Living the Run contribution,
exactly. The corporation are people, Paul.
Corporation or no?
they are people.
No, bad Rex. No.
Yeah, you're gonna keep going, moving forward.
So I got to ask though, because I know just training and traveling for track and competing. We didn't have meets every weekend, but we had a lot of meets. You had to find. You couldn't stay in a hotel every week. You couldn't eat out. It got expensive. Are you utilizing like the infrastructure in the underground world of marathon runners to like crash on people's couches or anything? You've got to be. It's got to happen.
There actually is some of that going on.
Yeah,
that's true. And we're using some of the funds from my own pocket, and actually the Pancreatic Cancer Action Network is supporting me as well. So we've all come together, and we're going to make this happen. So. It's going to get expensive.
Anybody listening in different states, if she's coming to a marathon near you, fluff your couch up. Could need a place.
Absolutely. Support in any way you can. Here again, we're listening to Julie Weiss, the Marathon Goddess. You can find her at marathongoddess.com. Look forward to more from her. An emotional story. We'll get a little bit deeper into her story and what she expects over these next coming months, running 52 marathons in 52 weeks.
You're listening to Living the Ride on ESPN Radio 1280 The Ticket.
Friends tell friends about Perry Ford Lincoln in San Luis Obispo. Here's Angela Biles from San Luis Obispo.
At Perry Ford, I just felt instantly comfortable when I walked in.
Here's Gus Best from Paso Robles.
When I traded in the car here, they gave me the most for my car. In fact, I can honestly say it was $1,000 more than anyone else.
Here's Leota Lardner from Templeton.
For service, I always come to Perry. I had a small little accident. Perry picked it up, took care of the damages, and returned it back to me.
Here's Doug Showalter from Morro Bay.
Oh, it was so easy to buy that car. When I came in, everybody at Perry Ford kind of came together and worked the paperwork, and I was in and out of this place very quickly.
And here's William Garwood from Lockwood.
Even though we live 70 miles away, it's right on the highway. You can get right off the highway, right into the dealership, and it's well worth the trip.
For a great experience you'll be telling your friends about, visit Perry Ford Lincoln today on Los Osos Valley Road in San Luis Obispo. Call 544-5200 or click on perryfordslo.com.
Hi, it's Colin Coward. Here on the Central Coast, when it comes to insurance, there's only two things you need to remember. Morris and Garitano. Since 1885, they've built a tradition of earning your trust twice, at the time of purchase and the time of need. It's the largest insurance agency headquartered in the county. Morris & Garitano offers a broad range of insurance services to businesses and individuals for all your insurance needs: health, liability, auto, life, and workers' comp. Only 2 things you need to remember: Morris & Garitano.
The U.S. Open returns to Olympic Club in San Francisco June 11th through the 17th. Witness the game's best players and golf's toughest tests. Tickets can be purchased now at the U.S. Open website. The U.S. Open has sold out 25 years in a row, and this year's championship promises to be no exception. Get your tickets while they're available. The U.S. Open Golf Championship, June 11th through the 17th at the Olympic Club in San Francisco. Don't miss a single shot. Purchase your tickets now at usopen.com. That's usopen.com.
This is really cool, Dad.
Yep, nothing better than camping out under the stars.
Do you think there's any bears out here?
I don't think we have to worry about that. Look, there's the Big Dipper.
Wow, cool.
At Four Seasons Outfitters, they can help you create an outdoor family adventure.
Hey, can we try out my new fishing pole tomorrow?
Sure. Hey, want to roast another marshmallow?
Oh, yeah.
For camping and hiking equipment, or fishing and hunting gear, Four Seasons is your hometown outdoor outfitter.
Did you and Grandpa go camping when you were little?
We sure did.
Did you see any bears?
Nope, no bears.
You'll find backpacks and tents, freshwater and deep-sea fishing equipment, campfire cooking supplies, guns and ammo, everything you'll need for your next outdoor adventure.
Hi, guys.
Hi, honey.
Oh, hi, Mom.
So how are my 2 campers doing? Do you want me to leave the porch light on?
Maybe. Just in case there's a bear.
Even if it's in your own backyard. Four Seasons Outfitters, your outdoor adventure headquarters for more than 25 years. 432 Higuera, San Luis Obispo.
We're back with Living the Run.
During the break, you missed it. Paul got all red in the face when the goddess told him that she liked his voice. We are in studio. We are in studio with Julie Weiss, the marathon goddess, trying to do 52 marathons in 52 weeks. You can find her on marathongoddess.com. Make your donations there for pancreatic cancer. We got a goal of $1 million. Living the Run. Listeners, let's get her there. She's at 90,000. Let's help her out here. Hey, talk real quick, Julie, about a little bit more about pancreatic cancer, why it touched you, and what people are dealing with out there in general. Not just what your father dealt with, but what people are dealing with in families, etc.
Absolutely, it's so sad. Pancreatic cancer is the 4th leading cause of cancer death in the United States, and 74% of patients will die in the first 12 months of diagnosis, actually, and it's actually one of the most underfunded cancer killers, with more 2% of the National Cancer Institute's annual research budget is only going to pancreatic cancer. So it's really important to bring awareness to pancreatic cancer. People just don't know, which is one of the reasons I drove up here today, to be in here with you. Awareness is half the battle. So it's just one of the lowest funded. So I knew this is what I have to do: make a dent and change the course of this awful disease that took the life of my father.
One of these things we love about Julie is that not only has she made some just tremendous life changes herself. We say she seems like she's truly living the run, but she is truly living the run for others. She is trying to raise money here for those suffering with pancreatic cancer and those who may in the future. But she's also inspiring other runners. Julie, I know you're a pace leader for the LA Road Runners. Take us through what that means and how you're encouraging others to kind of persevere on and tackle some of these things like marathons.
I'd love to. You see this big smile on my face, right? The LA Road Runners is the official pace group for the LA Marathon, and I became a pace leader in 2010, and it was a really great experience to take new runners into this journey of completing a marathon, something that just seems so big and so impossible, and to take them through the whole training. We meet every Saturday, and we make friends, we sing, we run, we inspire each other, and this was new for me, and I had no idea that this was actually my calling, but when I became a pace leader, it was just unbelievable. My spirit just came out. People told me how inspiring I was. I'm like, I am? And so it was just an incredible journey, not just the marathon, but the whole journey leading up to the marathon. So.
Now, do you pace set for the whole race for them or just part of the race? How does that work?
There are pace groups, and we pace the 10-minute group, which is actually comes out to a 4:22 marathon. So we go on training runs, and we start slow, and then we slowly get faster, add speed work, and we get them there.
You're like not only a goddess, but a human metronome. What do you want? You want 4:22? Right here. Just stay right here.
I always thought those things were fantastic. We'll talk about the slow marathon here. You know, you participated in the slow marathon a couple weeks ago, and that was the first time I had kind of participated in an event like that. And I saw those pace runners. They're walking around with their signs, 3 hours, 3:10, 3:20.
Looking for somebody.
And I thought the same thing. I mean, they're human metronomes, Paul. I mean, it's absolutely stunning. People can know that pace that well over 26 miles. Hey, we just need to stride like this. If we stride like this, I'll get you there in this amount of time. Phenomenal stuff.
You ever mess with somebody and tell them, like, yeah, I'm going to run a, 4:30, and then you pace them to like a 3:30 marathon just for like fun? You're like, oh my God.
I do, actually. Like for a mile, I was running too fast, and they're like, Julie, slow down. I'm like, well, I thought you wanted to run a 3:30, but just for a mile.
Hey, you've done a ton of marathons now. You had the 19 leading up to try and qualify for Boston. Now you got the 4 under your belt, trying to get to 52 in 52 weeks. Again, we're talking to Julie Weiss, the marathon goddess. Find her on marathongoddess.com. How'd the slow marathon compare? It was the first one here, first event, hopefully of many. They hope to make it an annual event. How'd you like the race?
The race was awesome. The course was beautiful. The people were fantastic and fun, and it was well organized. It was a great day. I really enjoyed the hills, and I enjoyed the crowd. It was a lot different from Boston. There was no support, but there were cows.
Moo moo, buckaroo! I'm just running by, coming through.
And that was awesome. It was very relaxing and kind of laid back because I took it at a nice slow pace, which I'm going to have to do for most of these marathons until I get a little stronger. Maybe I'll get faster for the last one. But it was so fun. So fantastic. I just enjoyed every minute.
Well, we talk about strength and enduring here. What's kind of the regimen? What are you doing knowing that you're putting your body through a fairly rigorous deal here, 52 marathons over 52 weeks? What are maybe some strategies that you're employing nutritionally, sleep, massage? What are you doing to try to keep this body going for this next year?
That's a great question. Thank you for asking. I actually have a whole team, which I call Team 52. I have Leslie. She makes my food, lots of protein. I have Adrian. He's the massage therapist. I have Alex, who is my PR guy. I have my mom, who is the president of Team 52. She's my biggest supporter. And I have my fiance, who is David, and he's actually a marathon coach. So he's taken me through this, and he's holding me back because I'm very competitive. I know I could go out there and run a sub-4 marathon, but I'm not. It's not a good idea right now. So
48 left. Yeah, sub-4 probably not your
perfect guy to be engaged to.
Yeah. Or don't get in an argument with him though.
He's fantastic.
Can't believe you left the door open. Really, guess what tomorrow's workout just turned into?
Well, I was thinking maybe you should make a phone call. I saw on your website there that you met Dean Karnazes. He was also a friend of Living the Run. Paul, you got to interview him with Ryan way back.
She does 52 and 52, in 52. I think that's better than 50 in 50 days. I mean, that's 52. 52 is greater than 50. I mean, any math I ever heard of, 52 bigger than 50.
It is, and Dean has an unbelievable way of staying away from injury, so a phone call might be good there. But tell us about your interaction with Dean. Just a phenomenal guy, that ultramarathon specialist extraordinaire.
He is amazing. I think I saw him at mile 10 of the Big Sur Marathon as he was passing me, and I said, hey, are we going to run to San Francisco after this? And his response was, don't tempt me. But he's fantastic. He actually ran the course twice, I believe, in Big Sur. So he was just a great guy. He gave me some motivation and a big smile, and I just watched him pass me by.
You gotta love Dean getting his money's worth. Most people run the course once, but he gets his money worth. I paid. I'm going to run it again.
Anybody else you've met along the way, famous or not, but somebody that's inspired you going through in some of these races? It's absolutely amazing. I know at the slow marathon for me, the one thing that was the best was just seeing kids along the sideline cheering. All kids love to high five, and it was just a ton of fun to get those high fives. But I know celebrities come out at these events, different people, different cool stories. Who have you encountered along the way, and what continues to inspire you there?
Well, the crowd support is amazing. The kids are fantastic. All the energy that you get from that is, off the charts. I have to say one in particular at in the Boston Marathon, I met Catherine Switzer. We had a little video segment with her. She, of course, is the first lady to run an official marathon in Boston, and she is just the most inspiring person to me I've ever seen. She's to start off my journey with meeting her the day before I ran Boston was incredible. So that's actually going into the Spirit of the Marathon movie, which we haven't talked about.
Hey, talk about that. Apparently, you were it looks like Paul is chomping at the bit to.
No,
get
I'm not chomping at the bit. It's just there's an awful lot of running going on here, and I'm enamored by it. It's like 52
He's starting to get tired.
And 52. I know my calf is getting tired. I think I'm going to stand up and get a cramp here.
Paul's getting dehydrated in the seat over there. Talk about this. You sounds like you were in a movie in Rome. Was it? Talk about it, a documentary or what have you. Tell us about your participation there.
My journey actually started off the beaten path in Rome in March. March 18th was the Rome Marathon, where we filmed the Spirit of the Marathon 2. And for those of you who don't know, that was a documentary that came out about 4 years ago or so, filmed in Chicago. So the second one was filmed in Rome, and I was one of the featured runners there. So we ran the marathon, and it was just beautiful. Can you imagine running a marathon through Vatican? I mean, it's just like, is this real? So
how does that come about? Because I got the sense that if I would have been hanging out around there, they wouldn't have asked me to be part of the movie.
Did they? Can you step aside?
Did they sense Goddess at that time, or what was? How did you get selected?
She had one of those signs. 4-hour Goddess.
Well, somehow the producer got word of my story, so they contacted me, and I met with them for an interview, and I thought I totally bombed it, but then they called me back, and there I found myself in Rome running the marathon, which was incredible. I even had some of my group, my LA Roadrunner group, came to Rome with me to run it with me, so that made it so amazing to have them in the movie with me and to have them by my side.
Fantastic. And I've heard you've also been, you were put in, what was it, Runner's Magazine or Runner's World Magazine? Featured you how long ago? What issue was that?
That was in May of 2011 for my persistence in never giving up and qualifying for the Boston Marathon after 19 attempts.
I mean, some people's marathon careers don't even go to double digits. I was like, 19. I finally qualified. Now I'm getting started. Yeah. Now the boat is moving.
Yes, 19 was just getting it rolling. We are listening to Julie Weiss, Marathon Goddess. Find her at marathongoddess.com. She is really doing something inspirational, trying to raise money for pancreatic cancer. Please go to her website and sign up to sponsor. Bring some money to her, to pancreatic cancer, and to this huge need that we have in this country. She's at just over $90,000, trying to get to $1 million. She's 4 marathons in of a 52 marathon goal. Fantastic. Talk a little bit about how you came up with Marathon Goddess. We joke about it a bit, but really the spirituality of that and how you kind of came to that title.
Actually, Marathon Goddess is about embracing the god or goddess within us all. So it's not really about me, although some people say that. It's really about living to your highest potential, your best self, and bringing that out through whatever it takes, running, dancing, whatever it is that brings out your spirit and the god or goddess within you.
That's awesome, Rex. Dancing, all the dancing you want will bring out the goddess inside of you. It's fine. It's out in the open now. It's good. Don't be ashamed, man.
Hey, don't say that. My wife will hold you to it. She's been trying to get me to dance for years now.
Let it go, Molly. I've seen him. Let it go.
Yeah, let it go. I'm having trouble.
But we all have a calling, so that's really true.
Well, absolutely. One of the lines I love from it's just so honest from your website here is that it says the joy comes from the heart. If your love is running, and I have learned, and the great part is it's taken me 23 marathons to figure this out. that it's not about how many miles you go or even how fast. The heart does not have a clock. It has beats. My mission is to make sure those beats are spent on pursuing my dreams, passions, and having fun. Almost fits the living the run mantra there, doesn't it, Paul?
Yeah. I mean, you just be careful, though, because you're down in L.A., and, I mean, that's going to get ripped off by some rap group right there. It's got beats. That's going to be the next big thing.
It does, but expand on that just a little bit more, and what it means to you, and kind of what your mind is doing when you're out there running. Because Barb, Lemoyne singer, who was in here earlier, talking about sometimes there's some pain and suffering along the way in some of these races, and sometimes you're mentally challenged. Where does your heart go? Where does your mind go in those tough times in the marathon? How do you get through them and keep that spirit alive and that heart beating?
Thank you. That's a great question. Actually, I would do well to get rid of my watch, because this journey is not about speed. It's about spirit. So it's not about the time on my watch. It's about the time in my heart and how I'm doing, how I'm running, how I'm feeling, if I'm inspiring or pushing other runners to do their best as well. And also, I have a motto. My motto is, "You got this." You do. So whatever it is, just remember, you can do this, you've got this, just keep going, and you got it. And that's what I say a lot. You'll find me posting that all the time. But it's true, because you do. You got this.
You got this.
Like the lunchtime check. Hey, you got this.
It's true. I tell myself that all the time, though. And I tell that to other people as well. You do.
Well, hey, thanks so much, Julie. You're listening to Julie Weiss, Marathon Goddess on marathongoddess.com. Find her, support Living the Run listeners. Thank you for tuning in to her, and thank you in advance for supporting this tremendous journey. We will round up the show here in just moments. Conclude with Julie Weiss, Marathon Goddess.
You're listening to Living the Run on ESPN Radio 1280 The Ticket.
Are you putting your money into an IRA, pension, or 401k? Then I hope you're prepared to lose 30, 40, 50% or more of your retirement savings, because it's not a question of if the market crashes again. It's a question of when. It's going to happen. Did you know there is a way you can protect and grow your wealth safely and predictably every single year? The people using this approach didn't lose a penny when the market crashed in 2000 or 2008, and they won't lose a penny in the next crash. In fact, their money will continue to grow safely year in and year out, even when stocks, real estate, and other investments tumble. A free report detailing this savings program is now available. This free report shows how you can get guaranteed growth, safety, and wealth-building power without risking your retirement in the Wall Street casino. This is the best way to have a 100% secure retirement. It far outperforms any IRA or 401k. To get this free report, visit bankonyourself.com. That's bankonyourself.com. Bankonyourself.com.
In a world full of artificial this, genetically modified that, and virtually simulated everything, there's thankfully still an appreciation for the real deal. I'm referring, of course, to the BMW 3 Series, the one car and driver named to their 10 best list a record-breaking 20 consecutive years. The one that's faster and more powerful than the A4, the C300, and the IS250. The one that includes no-cost maintenance while those others do not. And the only one that deserves to be called the ultimate driving machine. So celebrate the real deal. The 3 Series at a BMW Center today. Claim based on published 3 Series sedan and competitors 0 to 16 horsepower. For ultimate service details, call 1-888-3114-BMW.
Come purchase one today at BMW of Santa Maria, the Highline dealer on the Central Coast. Online at bmwsm.com.
Michelob Ultra asked, what's your ultra life?
Climate pyramids in Guatemala.
We got married in the run-through wedding chapel.
A zip line ride over a 400-foot canyon. About 25 feet from me was a black bear.
The ultra life is different for everyone, but there's one common thread. It's about getting out and having fun. And Michelob Ultra helps you do just that. With one exceptionally smooth taste, only 95 calories and 2.6 carbs, Michelob Ultra is perfectly balanced to fit your life and all you want to get out of it. What's your ultra life? Tell us on Facebook.com/Michelob Ultra and live life to the ultra. Here's Wes from Chicago.
Every year, 16 of my college buddies get together for a golf bonanza.
And Amy from San Diego.
I just recently hiked the Grand Canyon.
Enjoy responsibly. Michelob Ultra Light Beer. 95 calories, 2.6 grams carbs, 0.6 grams protein, and 0 grams fat per 12-ounce serving. Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
We're back with Living the Run.
Welcome back to Living the Run. You can find us on livingtherun.com and facebook.com. Tremendous show today. Barb Lemoyne, singer, coming in and talking just a tremendous Living the Run story, changing her life and becoming a triathlete and just succeeding at the highest level. And thank you so much to Julie Weiss coming in, the marathon goddess. She's going 52 marathons in 52 weeks. You can find her on marathongoddess.com where we can support. Just reach out here and sponsor her. Bring some money to pancreatic cancer because, as we were just saying in the break, Julie, that's the real marathon in this, right? We talk about the length, the longevity of a marathon, the difficulty in running it, and thinking about 52 and 52 weeks, but it pales in comparison to what we're dealing with marathon-wise with pancreatic cancer.
That's absolutely true. I mean, you think about the marathons; those are sort of fun, and I love running marathons. And I'm also holding down my 9-to-5 job every day, so I have to get back to work. If you can imagine, every Monday, which is a harder marathon, to actually get back to work Monday and work the whole week, and then leave on a Friday, do another marathon, and get back on Monday again. But then, like I was saying, the hardest and the most challenging marathon of all is finding the cure for pancreatic cancer, and that's my ultimate goal, and that's the one we're going for it. We got this.
Well, you should have seen Paul's eyes during the break when he found out that Julie is holding a 9-to-5 job Monday through Friday. And we apologize for not emphasizing this even sooner, Julie. This is an amazing feat in itself. The travel schedule to be back to work and continuing to do these things, even more remarkable. Awesome story. Living the Run fans, get on board with this.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. I was going to ask that as a joke, oh, yeah, I'm sure you got a job too, right? Ha, ha, ha. And then she was like, yeah, and then I got to get back to my 9-to-5 on Monday. And it was like, wait, no, seriously, you really have a job? You work 40-hour work weeks and you're training for marathon? Oh, that's good.
Well, we do a segment here on Living the Run called Tips and Takeaways, something that we can send home to the listeners, something they can take tomorrow morning and add to their life, something that they might be able to change tomorrow. And Julie, as our guest, why don't you start here? Give the listeners something you'd love to motivate or inspire them with that we talked about here in the show.
I just believe that you can do whatever you put your mind to. So when you do what you love, that's when the miracles happen. So do what you love, have fun. Go for it, because we got this.
We got this.
I'm going to go with perseverance. I mean, it was a theme. It was a theme in her story, and a theme about the triathlon. You got to continue with things. You can't just give up when the going gets tough.
Absolutely, and I'm going to go with change. It's never too late to change. Both these two came in with stories. One, antidepressants, a little overweight, made the change by running. Barb doing a little bit addictive behavior with a little partying, made the change by taking on something more positive along the way. Guys, don't forget Miracle Miles, May 12th this weekend. Be a part of this. Next week's show, phenomenal. We've got a functional neurologist from Texas and a Washington Capitals scout to talk brain health, brain neurology, and nervous system health for your kids and adults. Thank you for joining at Living the Run.